of the Designorama. And for those of you just jumping in here, quick reminder that you don't need to go back and do week 1 and week 5. If you've done a challenge here and there, it's fine. If you've done a week here and there, it's fine. If you haven't done anything at all, it's fine. You should be able to step into week 6, week 7, week 50 without any challenges or having done the previous weeks. There will be a point where it will have been helpful to have gone through them, just to ensure that your design muscles are strong, your design mind is honed. But there's no saying that you couldn't jump into week 50 and not have an issue at all. It may just require a little bit more research, a little bit more thought. The other thing I want to remind you in week 6 here for this particular challenge, and this is really for all challenges, but in this challenge, that if you want to accomplish this week as an entire set, so you want this to be a full design challenge with 5 steps where you're doing something sort of uniform across all 5 of them, now may be an opportunity to think about a design system or a design library where you're building all of these components and these interactions in a uniform way so that you could leverage them as a set in an app or in a prototype or what have you. And however you decide to use these, it may be good to think about a use case ahead of time. So I need a design library for my portfolio. I need a design library for an app I'm building. I need to build a set of controls for X, Y, and Z. And just consider that ahead of time. And honestly, if you have it, write it down somewhere to set the goal for yourself and hold yourself accountable. You may even want to put it in the Discord and say, hey, this week I am going to attempt creating a complete set, so that you have a support system there, an accountability group supporting you doing that, so that when the time comes you start submitting this stuff in Discord or elsewhere, people can say, oh, well, you know what I thought was interesting is that you decided to create a set, so I'm going to give you feedback from that perspective. So to get on with it, the first one is design a simple toggle switch and prototype its interaction. And there are a handful of good tools for this, and I'm sure there are more additional ones. Some of them are a little bit potentially cost prohibitive, but you may have a trial period that you can use. So Proto.io is one of those really powerful prototyping tool, but is a little bit on the pricey side. And their trial period's fairly short unless you get a special offer. Figma would be a good one. I think it'll suit this very well. Play, the tool, would be good for this because I think it's free for one board. And Framer.js is a good one that should help you with this and accomplish at least the technical, mechanical side of this relatively easy, so you can focus on designing it. So create a toggle switch, light and dark mode, on and off. Design the active and inactive states, ensuring there's clear visual feedback, prototype the interaction so it smoothly transitions between states. And then think about the context. Think about what it means for it to be on and off. Think about clearly communicating what it does and the impact of it being in all of these positions. Make it so that people know exactly why it is in a light or dark mode, why it is in an on-off state, and why it started in a default state, whether it's active or inactive, and sort of what the impact of it being in any of these states is. And then work on a smooth transition. So this could be something way outside the box, really interesting in terms of a toggle, or it could be just a refined version of a simple toggle switch. But however you do it so that it serves you and supports you in sort of the career or role or projects you want to be a part of. Day 2, create a micro interaction for a notification. So subtle, engaging animation for the notification, a new message alert or system update. Could also be potentially an error. Consider how it shows up, how to make sure that people see it without it impacting workflow, how it leaves. Do people have to interact with it before it disappears or before it is removed from the screen, or does it do it on its own? And then ensure the interaction is clear but not disruptive, as I mentioned, to the user's workflow. And, you know, if you're working on the design system or the design library, make sure it integrates with that. And again, this is another opportunity to think a little bit outside the box. If you're doing something that's a little less conventional, this could be a lot of fun. But either way, it's a common thing that you potentially have to build, and I look forward to seeing what you have. So number 3 here, sketch a navigation bar for a mobile app. And this could be the whole navigation frame. But pick a type of app, pick it ahead of time. Think about something, again, that may support your career goals. Sketch the bottom or top or both navigation bar, or even just the navigation frame, navigation structure if you're thinking a little bit outside the box. Include the icons, labels, hierarchy, and make sure the primary actions are easy to access. Make sure they're easy to see, make sure that your icons communicate clearly. Consider the fact that you may need text to support those. And keep in mind finger reach zones and sort of icon sizes that support mobile interactions easily. Day 4, prototype a drop-down menu with animation. And this could be for a mobile app, this could be for a website. But you could potentially use some of your information architecture from 2 weeks ago if you processed or you went through that exercise. But think about how these things expand, both in how they're positioned next to each other, the animations, how much time it takes, how that may impact your user in making decisions in the right way and seeing the options as they expand. But just think through all of that. I mean, a drop-down menu could be fairly simple, so take some of your extra time to think about some of the additional complexity you could add to make it more clearly communicative. And ensure that it is easy to navigate and doesn't overwhelm users. So, I mean, this could be an expanding nested structure. This could be one of those mega menus. It could be a combination of the two. Or it could be really, really anything. This may be your opportunity, since you're not doing this for a work project or some other project, to really think outside of what it means to have a navigation and how it expands. Maybe it's bubbles that surface. Who knows? And then design a progress bar from a multi-step form. And I mean, this is a bit prescriptive in terms of progress bar, but it could just be a progress indication system. But create some visual indicator that helps you track progress on a multi-step process. And it could be checkout, including selecting shipping. It could be an onboarding process for a club or a company. And decide how you're going to show progress, indicate progress across all steps. It could be numbers, icons, just a filling bar. And design clear, accessible, informative to reduce user frustration. The other thing to think about, and you could talk to, if you have some technical background, you have some experience doing this, or if you have a friend you could talk to, is how this integrates with technology, because sometimes progress isn't linear and there are dependencies on it. And when you talk through the process, maybe you have a developer friend who can interrogate this a bit and ask you questions, or maybe they'll just look at it and say it's perfect. But it is an opportunity to collaborate with someone who may be outside your normal sort of design conversation. Those are the challenges for week 5. I look forward to seeing everyone's posting on what they're doing and how they're doing and what their thoughts were about their work. Yeah, thank you very much and best of luck with this week.